A very good morning to all of you. I welcome to you on this special webinar or workshop on structured digital database through Insilysis. And the reason why we all are here is because of a recent mails which all listed entities have received from all the three exchanges, whereby they have asked the companies to report the compliance of maintenance of SDD under PIT regulations by 9th August for the quarter ending June 2022. As per this circular, this requirement will now be applicable for each quarter, and similar to other quarterly compliances as are applicable to listed entities, they are also required to submit a compliance certificate on SDD. So why a specific compliance certificate on SDD when there is a no specific provision under the PIT regulations? I think this has been in line for a long time, because post introduction of this requirement in April 2019, when companies were asked to maintain the SDD, thereafter stock exchanges have been reaching out to listed entities to check their preparedness or compliance with respect to maintenance of the structured digital database. And I believe a lot of companies must be aware that last year itself, BSE and NSE have reached out to companies on a survey as to how they are maintaining the SDD, and they have sent a questionnaire. It was a voluntary exercise on behalf by the exchanges, but it was definitely must have been undertaken on behalf of some instructions from SEBI. So it has been seen that in spite of the clear mandate under the PIT regulation to mandate the SDD and characteristics attached with the SDD like timestamp, audit trail, tamper proof, companies continue to maintain the SDD in Excel format or in some other format, which is not in right spirit or in true compliance of the requirement of SDD. And the recent requirement of this compliance certificate is most probably arising out of the fact that regulator wants companies to consider this seriously, undertake a compliance and give a compliance certificate. And why SDD is important, while the regulation highlights its importance, but we have seen in various adjudicating orders passed by SEBI on insider matters that in most of the cases they have referred to SDD and the access they got to the SDD during the investigation period, and from where they could find out that those who were privy to the UPSI from the SDD maintained by the company. So a regulator gives SDD a lot of importance and seems as a tool to identify people who were aware of the UPSI and check their trading pattern as to whether they have traded at any point of time while they were in possession of such UPSI. So to discuss this important topic, I have with me Ms. Mohini Vashne, who is the partner and head ESOP and insider practice at Corporate Professionals, and is a seasoned professional, having more than 16 years of experience, and not only works on legal side, but also a technocrat in terms of the IT portfolio that she handled in both the practice areas of ESOP and insider trading. And specifically in insider trading, she has a specific product, Insilysis, through which companies can ensure maintenance of SDD and other process-related compliances under the PIT regulation. So we will hear from Mohini as to her views on the recent circular in terms of the mails sent by BSE and NSE, and what are her views on the SDD and how Insilysis can help all of you or listed entities in achieving the compliance of the requirement of PIT regulations. So I'll now request Mohini to take that forward, and I welcome you to this session. You have to unmute, Mohini. You're not, yes, you're unmute now.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. So we are here today to learn about that what the SDD requirement, that means structured digital database requirement of the SEBI is under the SEBI PIT norms, prohibition of insider trading. So in the insider trading, if we talk about a basic law, so they are saying that the person who is in the possession of the UPSI can't trade. It's a very plain important information which every time SEBI is saying through this law is that when you are in possession of UPSI, you can't trade. Now it comes to that the person who is in possession, how the person, when any investigation starts in the SEBI, then it comes to a question that who all the people are in the possession of UPSI. So to help in the these kinds of things to relate and to track that who all the people are involved in this UPSI and the projects. So they have designated a one term like designated persons in the organization. So this term is also being there in the PIT. So that means this is the first person which is internal to the management who have and who possesses the information and from where this UPSI persists. Now the next thing comes to the requirement of the law is that the person, because many a times within the organization and as well as the persons who are outside the organization like consultants, auditors, they are also come into the possession of the information which the other general public is not. So the information is being shared from the company, these designated persons, to the outsiders as well. So now tracking that when this information has been shared, to whom it has been shared. So this is the trail which in the structured digital database, the SEBI is asking the companies to maintain internally in their in-house server. So this is the trail under the structured digital database which the companies need to maintain, that where the UPSI has originated and to whom it has been shared and at what point of time, and the purpose behind this event, UPSI event, this information to be stored at a one place under the digital manner. So this is the requirement of the law. So I'm sharing my screen so that I give you a glimpse of that how this structured digital database can be maintained and where this requirement has been originated. Now, when it comes to about this law, so definitely it comes to that you have to maintain it digitally. When we talk about maintain it digitally, so we have in our we have designed this tool named Insilysis. That means insiders systematically we are analyzing. So from this we have originated word this Insilysis, and we have designed it to maintain and to cater all the needs of the law of the SEBI insider trading regulation. And it is our continuous effort that to the best of the things which we can serve to the corporates in complying with this law, we be able to deliver that. The solution which our tool offers is that it is an automated calculations are there, few, a separate interfaces have been given. There are few reminders which we will be giving. Transparency is there, and access of this tool is being given to the concerned authorized person 24/7. And definitely the compliances and MIS is there, which can be generated through this tool as well. Now, when we talk about that, we are maintaining this tool. So from where this requirement of maintenance of this tool is being originated. So this tool requirement is being generated from the idea of the SDD get generated by the committee on the when they have started discussion over this how to strengthen this PIT trading law. So when they started discussion over that, so in that the challenge which they faced out is which I said earlier, that to track that who all person are in the possession of UPSI, that comes into picture. So to make that thing and to strengthen that thing, they have made in the circular released in the 2018 December, when these regulations changed since 1992, they have made it on the company that they should maintain a structured digital database, and which made effective from April 2019. So that means this requirement is not the new one. This requirement is there since 2019, they need to maintain it. Now, this structured digital data maintenance is not only be restricted to the companies who are listed. They have expanded the scope of maintenance of this database to the persons, to the intermediaries who all are also involved in maintenance of and handling the information of the listed companies, which is not in the public. So they have also increased and expanded the scope to the other intermediaries as well. Now, the SDD is the responsibility to maintain to whom? So this is definitely the board of directors have the responsibility to maintain this maintain this database wherein this kind of UPSI are being stored. Now, this hosting and maintenance of database is concerned. So such database shall not be outsourced. It will very much be clearly be communicated to the companies through various circulars as well, and in the FAQs as well, that this database cannot be outsourced and it should be maintained internally in their in-house server, in-house system by the company only. So like Amazon, Google, or any cloud server you are, if it is being hosted, so it's wrong. So this database cannot be accessed by anywhere. And the basic requirement of the law is definitely the time stamping in the audit trail and the non-tampering should be there. Now, what the content of the structured digital databases ultimately, which comes out through the software is, so the information is that the supplier information, that means the information is being supplied by, so the name of the person, the PAN or any identifier of that person should be maintained. The person who is receiving this information, the name of the person and the PAN or any other identifier of that person should be maintained. Nature of the UPSI, the date of the sharing, the time of the sharing, date and time entering detail in the database because it's an audit trail, and when it is in open or it's when it has been entered, all these audit trails should be there, and any remarks, if any, you want to. So this is the basic info which is to be stored in the database. Now, to strengthen it more, exchanges, as even the Ankit has taken up, that this is the requirement is not new, and SEBI has also in the last year informally checked this requirement are being maintained at this company level or not. So to strengthen it more, they have done that the compliance officer of every listed company mandatorily file their SDD Compliance Certificate for the current quarter, that means the last quarter ended June, to be by August 9, 2022. That means it's the first certificate which the compliance officer of every listed company need to, and then thereafter every quarter, and after every quarter they need to give this SDD Compliance Certificate to the exchange. The compliance certificate is in this format that they have asked you few 12 questions approx, that whether you are maintaining this, whether you're capturing, whether all the events have been entered in the structured digital database, and then they need to certify, it need to be certified by the compliance officer that yes, you are maintaining this, and any observation or remark if you have in any of the points, you have to mention that remark as well. So now I'm taking a one by one question, and then I give you that how our tool Insilysis is helping you in complying this requirement. The first comes that the question is whether the SDD in this place. So yes, so you Insilysis is a software wherein this requirement structured digital database will be complied, and you will be able to and it serves your purpose of capturing all the required details which the law supposed to have in the listed company. Then the next question comes whether the control exists as to who can access the SDD for read and write. Yes, so we have made this we have in this tool separate interfaces for the compliance officer and for the designated person. So respective roles has been assigned, so there is nothing that to every person every right to read and write is available. So this is already also be maintained in this tool. Then the question comes whether all the UPSI had been captured. So yes, so we have given the facility that you can go and create your UPSI events in the tool, and you can include the name of the person's designated person as well as insiders involved in this project in this tool in that particular tab. So this is also that you can capture all the UPSI event in this tool. Now it comes whether the recipient knows that the information is UPSI and entry in the database captures prior providing to that. Yes. So this is also provision is there. We are capturing the insider details, and in the insider details, we are capturing the information with respect to the insiders who are receiving this information, the PAN number and the details of the person. And similarly, this information you can definitely store prior to forwarding that information to the third party. Now the question comes whether the nature of the UPSI is being stored with that date and time. Yes. So we have created a very good master list, and you can add on your master list there with respect to the nature of the UPSI and the purpose for it is being shared. And when the employee is sharing the information, then they can select those purposes and can store that information in the tool. The next question is whether the name of the person who have shared is being captured. Yes, it's also true, because Insilysis basically starts with the PAN, with the designated person's detail, who are the first originator of this information. So there we are storing the PAN number and the other identifier, email ID, and the phone number of the designated persons as well. Now it comes whether this database has been maintained internally. Yes, this database, we are installing this tool internal to internal servers of the company, and they are maintaining it at their own, and every access is with them only. Audit trail, and to the extent audit trail is concerned, yes, so audit trail is being maintained, and in the digital database, audit trail is recorded auto. There are logs and which cannot be changed by anyone. Timestamp, yes, the timestamping is there. Logs are sufficient. Logs are there, and then the person, when sharing the information, they can mention the date from where they are starting this information sharing and the time when they have started, and between what date from and to they have shared this information with those persons. They can store that information. Whether the database is non-temporable, yes. So every access to this software is in encrypted form, so no person can temper this database as well. So these are the questions which the certificate you as a compliance officer need to give. I am just taking you to the tool as well, that how is being give you a practical glimpse that how the system operates. Now, when it comes to the last, that how the Insilysis is maintaining this again, then different user interface for DP and admin is there. Time stamping is there. Data is non-temporable. We are recording the UPSI. Proper internal control systems are there. Confident and maintained at in-house server. Audit trail is there, and alerts and notifications are being sent to the designated persons through this tool. Now I am taking you to the tool. So first I will open the designated persons, admin. We will start with the admin first. So I'm sharing my screen. Yes, hope my screen is visible to all. So now I'm logging in as an admin first. Administrator login will be given to the compliance officer. So here we are being logging in inside the tool. So now this is the dashboard of the admin panel, wherein we are giving a facility that we are capturing the BSE NSE stock price of the company. Then we are giving you in the tool, in the dashboard itself, that what number of the designated persons are there in the company, whether they have shared the personal, educational, past employment, and other relative details, and their initial disclosures and all. If then it comes to the designated persons details. So with respect to their holding, so I later on tell you that what in a how this tool is a complete tool which I am demonstrating, but we have the SDD version as well. So I show you first the SDD version and then later on tell you about the other features of this tool. So once if you are capturing the other details, so you'll be able to check that how many holding in the company of every person is, how many securities are being traded, and disclosures filed and other actions. So I later on disclose detail you out that what this information is respect to. First, I start with the information center. So here in the information center, you can upload your code of conduct, PIT regulations, any FAQs which you want to, and these documents are also visible to the designated person. To start any company, you have to create a company of yours, and if in your code with respect to the SDD, if you are covering the main company like your company and your material subsidiary or joint ventures or any associate company, promoter company, then you have to create those companies as well. So to start with, the first thing which the requirement of the law is the sender's receipt details should be captured. Sender is the designated person in the organization. So first we are capturing the details of the designated person, wherein we are mentioning that which company employee is it, which location he is. Then it comes to the designated person name, appointment date, employee user ID, designated person is of which type, like it's an employee, director, promoter, CEO, CFO, employee grade, because grading is important here. Reason being, in the designated person list, we have the 2 levels below KMP available with us. Then the nationality. Nationality is important because if the person is not an Indian employee, in that case, he is not in the he doesn't possess any PAN number. So you need to give the other identifier in that respect. Then the educational case, other information like educational, past employment, PIN code, other mobile number, email ID, official, alternate, and the NDA. NDA, we can also get it signed auto from this tool. And if you have already signed any NDA of yours, you can go and upload those NDA as well as here. So in this manner, we are capturing the details of the designated person. So the first point of that, the identification and the identifier and the details of the person, sender's information gets stored here. And this information, you can store it in bulk through Excel as well. Now, once this information of the person of the sender is being captured, similarly, we can capture the information about the insiders. That means the person who is the receiver of this information. Now, what information we are capturing here? The insider type in the law is being given as auditor, collaborator, consultant, employee. So you have to choose that which category of that insider is. Then the requirement of the law comes is the PAN number of that organization. So you have to enter the PAN number of that organization. NDA, if you have already signed, it's well and good. If not, then you can enter the details here, and upon a click, we can send a mail of NDA to your insider as well, that yes, you have been shared, you are going to have in the possession of some UPSI, and you're not supposed to trade in any manner. So this is also being there. Then PAN of the organization, NDA signing. If already been signed, you can upload. Otherwise, you can send a mail from here, intimation as well. The company, appointment date of that organization, insider organization name, address, phone number, mobile number, alternate email ID. Then the law also asked you that within the organization with whom you are sharing the information, the person, the contact persons also being entered here, like email ID, name, designation, PAN, nationality, mobile number of the person with whom you are dealing in that particular organization. So this is the second part of the law, like the recipient information also gets stored. Now, when it comes to that, this kind of information is being stored here. Now it comes to the other disclosure. So now we have done with this. You have to go and start with the UPSI events. So first, we have given you a facility that you can go and make your master list an example list. It's not that it is only the list of yours that you will be, which the UPSI can be, but you can create a master list here so that your DPs also be aware of that which kind of information be of UPSI. So you can create a master list here. Then you can go and mention the purpose of the UPSI here, that for which purpose you have shared this UPSI. Then you can start. The important part of it is that the recording of the events. So this is the projects which you can create. So what you need to, you have to give a name of the project. For example, if I give, it's a project of SDD. What is the starting date of that project? The purpose of creating that project is the compliance I am creating. Now I need to start with that what designated persons who all are involved in this project. So this is the important part which the law expects from you, that you should have in hand ready with you before the information starts exchanging within the DP and outside the organization with the insiders. Now we have to search the name of the person. For example, if I check this, then the date of addition of that person in this, and so in the similar manner, you have to create this designated persons project. So you have to submit this project. So even if you have the insiders as well as in this project, so you have to select that insider as well. Creation of this project is the right available with the admin. But in case the admin wants that the any designated person like HODs who will enter these kinds of events, and they can ensure that these events are being entered. So this can also be given an authorization for that. Now it comes to that, because it's not that on a very single day when we create a project, all the people get registered or all the people you be able to register in that, because during the course of that event, other people also joined in that UPSI project. So for doing that, what you need to, you have to go in the view and edit section. There you can see the basic detail that like where it's the project starting date is, its project is running or not, it's abandoned or it's still complete, purpose of creating that, insiders already be they are part of this project, when they have been admitted, where they have been deactivated from this project, it's created on and the status of that info. In case we want to edit and update the information of this particular event, what you need to do, you have to give the project ending date in case you have completed this project. Then the project status is there, whether it's completed, running or abandoned. It's not that every edit you need to make that this thing. If it's being the status, any status update is there, you have to go and update the status. And then if you have to add more person in that, you can simply click on add more, and you can add more people like you have added in the first step. So in this manner, we are updating the information and maintaining the details of all the events in the tool in the structured digital database. And when you want to know the view all the projects which you have entered in the tool in the database, then that database you can see these projects here, and similar details on click here you can have these details available with you. And if you want to generate it in Excel, you can go and generate this in Excel and can check that yes, the people involved in this project. So this is the event storing place which the law requires you to have at a one place, and the status of all the events started in that particular quarter, and the present status of that event in the company. So this is how we have captured the details of this events. Now it comes to that the people who are involved in this project, what they need to do, because we have created these events. Now their responsibility is to enter the information that when they have started the sharing the information within this project. So the next track and then the next loop of this SDD comes from the recording of UPSI. So now how we are recording this UPSI is, now I have to move on to the designated person's login for that. So each designated person who are in this organization are being given their login. And in their login, they need to go and in their login, they are getting this tab of recording of UPSI. So if they are a part of a project, their projects are being there in this tool. So I'm logging in this designated persons. Now I am in the login of the designated person. Now, the responsibility of the designated person is they have to click on recording of UPSI. They have to go and click on this recording of UPSI. Then they have to come that information which they are sharing or which they have shared. It's the information is with respect to that info is sharing with the designated person. That means other designated person, because we all are aware of that the law not only expects that you enter those UPSI details and the sharing details of only those transactions which you are sharing with the outside party. No, even within the organization, if you are sharing, you have to record that. So if you are sharing with the designated person, then the employee have to select the designated person. If you are sharing one-to-one with the insiders, then you have to select that insider. And in case if you are sharing with in some project, because you are a part of, you may be a part of some project, so you have to select that project as well. So in case if I am sharing with some designated person on a one-to-one or an insider, I take an insider in example as well. Insider. So insider is which kind of insider I am sharing. So that insider information is pre-filled in this tool. Then it comes to the company. If confidentiality agreement not shared, it is showing you here. So you have to go and first get the confidentiality agreement shared. Then the contact person name, the date of the sharing, from, to, time. So this is the time period. This is the time when you have started sharing the information, the particular of the information shared, the purpose of sharing the information, and the mode of the sharing information. Because nowadays you're sharing the information through mail, through folders, through physical document, others. So you need to mention that as well. So for example, if I share, okay, it's a from, to, purpose, okay, fine, change in capital structure is the information. Purpose is, for example, for preparing any record. And then the mode of sharing is email, and I submit this information. So once I submit, so it gets submitted in the system. And then these information which I have submitted is available in the form of a report. So this is how the information get captured with respect to the SDD part of it. Now this is a log, all logs are being created here. If you want to show, now I show you that which kind of report it gets generated once you share this, when you are sharing this information. Just wait, I just check. Just hold on. So I show you through the admin login about this report. So this information which we have shared will appear in a report form, and it gets stored in the system. So when I comes to about this, so this is the basic of the SDD information which is being stored and be a part of this the entire SDD process. So now when it comes to the SDD process here, so this is how the SDD process gets over. And I think I be able to showcase you that how the requirement of the log get captured here in this. We are being able to capture the information with respect to the receiver, sender, the events we have captured. We have been able to capture the details of the information are being shared, and all the proper records are being stored in this tool. So this is how we are capturing the structured digital database in this tool. Now, when it comes to the structured digital database, so other than this, there are other many features in this tool are through which you can make it a one repository through which you can comply and you can ensure the compliance and maintain the internal control systems in the tool of the insider trading. So other things in this tool are that when you be capturing this and deploying this tool, we are giving you a, yeah.
Just to add on, currently the page which is visible is of the project. You are onto some other page?
Yes, I am on some other page. So it's not visible.
No, the project page is visible. Can you just close the screen and reshare it again?
Okay, okay. Just wait. Now it's visible. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the dashboard now.
Okay. Okay. So I again take you to the designated person. I think something has been missed out. So when you are logged into the page of the designated persons, what you need to set, the people have to go and record the UPSI. So this is the recording of the UPSI where the person a designated person has to go and update. So what they are doing is that they have to update the information which they have shared with the designated persons, in case they have shared with a designated person, in case they have done with the insiders, if they have done with the under the UPSI project. So if they have sharing this information with the designated person, so they have to select the designated person. They have to select that which designated person with whom you have shared this information. Then the date of the sharing, that when you have started sharing this information, or you are going to share. Then the time from and to date. Then the time of the sharing, when you have started information sharing, the information which you have shared, the purpose of sharing that information, and then the mode of sharing of the information. And you have to go and simply submit. So in this manner, the trail that how the information is being shared is being captured in this tool. So this is the with respect to the SDD part of this tool. The other the other part of this tool is that when the person as a designated person is receiving their login, they have to go and update their self information first. What the requirement of the law for fulfilling in this in the law from the designated person point of view is that they have to go and update their basic details, like their status, whether they are married or not, their Aadhaar number, their address, their alternate email ID as well. Similarly, what they have to go and update here in this tool is about their educational details. Their educational details, they can update it here. And the last requirement is the past employment, because they have to give the earlier employment details as well. So they can go and update these earlier requirements as well. So here the important, another part of your requirement of the law, getting the details of the designated person gets served here. So you can capture the information of all the people, all the designated persons from their per se. So you need not to have any manual filing of these details from the designated person. The other thing, in case if you want to go for more in this tool, along with the SDD, that means if you want to control and make it a complete repository about for the insider compliances, then you can also extend from the SDD to the trading details as well. That means the shareholding and the trading. To maintain that shareholding and trading details, we are asking the designated persons to update their Demat account details in this tool so that they can enter their pre-clearance request as well as their trade records in this tool. So what they need to, if they have their Demat account, they have to go and update their Demat account details. So we are asking a very limited details like their Demat account number, their depository, their DP name, and a Demat proof they can upload. So in this manner, we have captured the Demat details as well. Now, when it comes to the other details, they can go and update their relative information, because every designated person need to give their designated relative details as well. So what they do, they need to, because if they have selected in their self information, yes, they are married, the spouse information is mandatory. And for the other relatives, they have to select on the basis of the parameters of the law, whether they are dependent on you, that means financially, and or they take help of yours in trading the securities of the company. So you have to select that particular relative of yours, and then you have to give information about that relative, like in which manner they are dependent on you and how they become the declared relative of yours in this regulations. And the PAN card or any other identifier, the Demat account details of that person as well, in case if they have and they hold the equity shares of your company. So in this manner, you'll be sharing and capturing these details of the relatives as well. and it gets stored in the system with all the logs are there. Then the last thing which they need to give a declaration about the material financial relationship. So this is again an important information as per the law, which every designated person needs to give. And the parameters for that is that any person is in receipt of the 25% of annual income from your side. So if it is yes, it's fine. Whether that transaction has been done during the last preceding 12 months, yes. And if it's on an arm's length basis, no. Because either of is opposite. That means you have not shared any information, you have not given amount to any person constituting 25% or more, then the person is not. Otherwise, the person is in the that person is in the material financial relationship with you. So you have to capture the basic info of that MFR related person as well. So in this manner, this important information also get captured. So we have captured all the information of the personally which the designated person needs to give in the tool. And whenever they are declaring anything, all the information gets stored in the system in the PDF manner. And anytime the person can go and check that which kind of information they have given in this. They have given the declaration of it. Just wait, I'm just back to.
When you have to
when it comes to the information sharing, after that, the other thing which you can capture and do through this tool is the other important thing which every compliance officer needs to struggle with the designated person is to get their disclosures. Initial disclosure, that means when they become the designated person, they need to give that what is their, whether they are holding any shares or the relatives are holding shares in the company. So through this tool, yes, your purpose gets served. You can, once you have given the login to the employee has to go and update their holding details in the tool, and they can update their and their initial disclosures get generated here. So it's definitely the one of the purpose also get resolved. Other thing which if you want to extend this process is that you can also on an annual basis or any periodic frequency, if you have decided for taking this kind of disclosure, you can start with this tool. Then another important feature is continual. Nowadays, yes, through system-driven disclosure, you are not supposed to. But if you are not complying with the system-driven disclosure, you can go and update your continual disclosure. But the continual disclosure is auto-generated here. So if the person is trading and they enter the trade details here, once they cross the 10 lakh limit in a particular quarter, it gives a pop-up to that person. So if you are not complying with the system-driven disclosure, so the person you can ask the compliance to this tool as well. And all the past disclosures get saved here. So in this manner, the disclosures are done. Then it comes to the trading information. So now the person, in case if we are extending and maintaining and making it a complete repository along with the SDD part, then they can go and simply record the trade. So if the employee is trading, they can, with the help of their contract note, can go and update their trading records here. They have to give a very, we have made it a very form-like pattern that they have to choose that they are updating with respect to self or relative. It's an acquisition, disposal, or a pledge, or the list of the action. And once if they select the list of the action, for example, purchase, then they have to give the details that which exchange they have been. And the other details, the simple, that which kind of this transaction and through exchange, and they have to update their trading details. So this is how the trading details can be captured here. Similarly, if they have to take the pre-clearance, they can go and take the pre-clearance request. Similarly, they can go and in case they have done the pre-clearance, they can go and update the pre-clearance status as well. Their pre-clearance forms get generated. They can go and update their status, that whether they have done the executed or not executed. So these details can also be managed through this tool. Once they have done with this, then so trading details also get captured. I've shown you the recording of UPSI under the SDD part. Now I back to the admin login to show you the very two other parts where generally the compliance officer struggles for. And that will be, I just shared the other screen of mine, which is of admin. Yes. So when I move to the admin, the other two things which is left, and which is again, the people will struggle to it. That is with respect to the trading window closer. So now here through this tool, you can maintain the trading window closer reasons that when you are closing, and even we are giving you a provision that if you want to close the trading window, you are closing your trading window and you want to intimate to the people about the trading window closer, you can definitely send a mail through this trading window closer from here. So you can go and send a mail of the trading window closer, and you can select the persons with whom you are for whom you are going to close this trading window. The another important part of this tool is the bin post comparison. So from the RTA is giving you the bin post. So you can go and compare the bin post here in the system. You can go and upload your bin post. You can compare bin post to system, because employee, if they are recording, that means if you are taking this and using this tool for recording the holding status, so the system will be able to compare the holding mentioned in the system and in the bin post, and even you can go and compare bin post to bin post as well. So you can select why I have selected the equity, because there are many companies who have the debt listed as well. So they can go and update their debt listed as well. So for example, if I take, from and to date. So for example, I take this from, and then I take today's date as the to date. So here you can also be able to check that, yes, the between the two, for example, if I uploaded only the two, so you can check that what is the holding and what is the status of it. And similarly, if at a time you can see the all this bin post get stored, and you can check the status of these here. So this is how this bin post and bin post also be compared. So this is a brief about the tool. So now over to Ankit. I have tried to
Thanks,
cover
Rohini,
all the aspects of it.
for such a detailed overview of the tool. Just a couple of questions before I proceed to take the questions which you received from our participants. You mentioned two things or two ways of entering or maintaining USDD under this system. One is with respect to creating a project, and another is with respect to independent entries. What's the difference, and how which one is more beneficial?
With respect to one-to-one entries
and projects. So what's the difference between a project and one-to-one entries?
So there are many a times, Ankit, that there is no per se projects are there, and there is a one-to-one information sharing between the two designated persons. So that as an event it not been able to create, but information should not be missed because the law requires so, and it's a true spirit, then you have to make that entry as well. So you can go and select that I have shared this information with designated person, and you can enter that. But if
the
you are
question
part
is,
of,
yeah, if I want to, for example, every quarter at the end I share financial information with my between the person of the finance team. So can I create a project and do so and avoid the object of the single entry every time or each and every entry?
Yes. So if like quarterly results are there, so it's you definitely can go and create the project of yours. That is the event, and you can include the persons with whom you are sharing that information, and but you can't avoid the entry that one-to-one that when you have shared. So it's the every designated person in their login also been able to check that UPSI project, and they can go and enter from their respect that when they have started sharing that information. But
Okay.
yes, the event gets stored that yes, these people are there in this event.
Okay, and the system meets all the three basic criteria that it's digital, so it's an online tool, and it's there is a log maintenance, and there can be an auditor. So all these three things, and it's not temporable. I understand.
It's not.
So
Yeah.
I'll now proceed to take up some questions. We have received a lot, many of them. So I'll try to take whatever is important. So first is very important is that the mails that have been received from both the exchanges or the three exchanges talks about submission of this quarterly certificate and gives a deadline for this last quarter from on and before 9th August, I understand. But what about the remaining quarters? Is there any deadline that is there? How and within what time we have to submit this certificate going forward?
So going forward, they have not per se declared any time that by which you need to, but it's a journal that we are aware of, that generally it's between 7 to 10 days you need to comply with every requirement, every regular compliance which you need to.
So do we expect some clarification from the exchanges on this?
Yes, we expect that in the coming quarter they will be releasing the dates soon.
Okay. Then is this requirement of maintaining SDD is applicable to a SME listed entity?
Yes, because it's through the law. It's not through the any SME or main board companies. So law is applicable on them.
Okay, so while LODR distinguishes between a SME listed and a main board listed company, so PIT regulations, if you are listed, you are per se required to comply the provisions. It doesn't matter whether you are listed on SME or main board.
Correct, very correct.
Okay. So this is one of the prominent question, and a lot of the clients that we speak to also follows this practice, that they maintain the sharing of the information by collating each designated person while sending or sharing any information through mail is asked to mark that as a CC to a particular mail ID. And then on that mail ID, the entire communication that has happened between the DPs on the mail is one can view and access that. So can that be said to be in compliance, or it's a structured digital database?
Compliance is up to one respect it can be, but how if anyone go and ask you that you have to record every event. So for that, you need to have some structured manner filing, a structured manner maintenance, that you have to create the events there. Because until and unless you have created the events, so how the mails, how you are going to sort out the mails? So only capturing mail is not the solution. You are mute, Ankit.
As per the certificate, there is another question that it talks about what are the other measures to ensure non-temporability of the database?
Access should be completely in encrypted form, and then it's a password protected, and only the need-based access, the person who is requiring that particular right, like the compliance officer. So they will have those access. But if in any case, designated person need not to know about the, for example, I am the person who am not involved in that project. So I'm not supposed to in any manner be aware of that project or event is going on. So this kind of protection in the tool should be there, so that it should not be disclosed and be not available to everyone.
Okay, and then the compliance certificate, another user has asked, is talking about the events that has been captured. So what does that event means? What we need to specify therein?
Event means UPSI event. That means the event which is not out in the public and the public is not aware about it. Simple. Every quarter you have to close your quarterly result. That is an UPSI event. Other than this, you have to go and record those events here.
Most important question, what if I was maintaining the database in Excel? Was that in compliance of the requirement of the law? And if not, then how I should be submitting this certificate?
So till date, what you are maintaining it in Excel, you are creating it digitally, but not in a database. And no audit trail is there in this Excel, because you are not able to track that when you have created, when you have gone and changed. It's only the last modified date you'll be able to check. And anyone can go and temper that until and unless you have made it full proof that you have made it a PDF form. If you have made it digitally signed at that particular time, so that it get captured when you have created that particular file. If you have not done that, that means you are maintaining it in a very, I can say in a very simple manner. But from now onward, definitely you have to go and update in a structured digital database. Database should be there. It's not digitally you have to store. Database should be there.
But then how they should or will they submit certificate of the compliance?
Compliance? No, again, Ankit. No, repeat the question, please.
Can they submit this compliance certificate if they are maintaining in Excel?
Yes, they have to, but they have to mention there is a remark column. So how they, because
some
they are
of the
earlier
things
of the
they
view,
can say yes, some of these things they have to say no,
they have
like
to,
audit trail or
right,
temper.
right, they have to.
Okay, so what do you mean by audit trail?
Audit trail means that whenever you are entering any information, when it has been entered, that is there, and who all have entered, that trail is there. So audit trail is when it has been entered or when it has been edited, if any edit provision is there. So everything get captured in a time and date stamping with it.
Okay, there is a question. Please explain point 4 of the certificate.
Point 4 of the certificate. Okay, what the point 4 is, just wait. I just open that point 4. Point 4 is whether the recipients were upfront informed. So yes, it's the requirement of the law. It's that whenever you are sharing the information with someone, you need to tell that person prior to sharing that information that you are going to have the UPSI at your place. So you have to that UPSI in place. You will be in possession of that UPSI, and you should not disclose it to anyone else other than the purpose for which it is shared. So it is the NDA which you need to, and the information prior to sharing the information you need to give. So if you are giving that and you're sending that kind of a mail or an NDA and getting it signed to that other party, then it will be the compliance of this law. And you have to enter the information of the insider. That means when you're sharing, so the law requires that when you have intimate him and take their PAN number and the other details. So if you have taken that detail, you have to go and update in the tool.
So if, for example, I have signed an NDA with the recipient, and in the NDA, the purpose of NDA is to ensure confidentiality of the information. And so can I say that I have informed him pre-hand in terms of that you are being shared something which is a
Yes.
UPSI?
Yes.
Or,
if you are, yes, definitely.
okay. And there is one question. Is this the compliance needs to be only for the last quarter or going forward, or it's since April 2019? I don't think it is from since April 2019. It's from the last quarter. The compliance certificate is
yes,
needs
because
to
they've
be
asked for
given.
the first quarter you need to give.
Okay. So there is a question, is Insilysis format of capturing UPSI is aligned as per the annexure shared by SEBI in their FAQs?
Yes, I have explained in my presentation as well, point by point, that how we are complying the requirement of the certificate in the tool.
Okay. Another question is that do I need to maintain a software or in Excel? I think one thing is very sure. In Excel you can maintain, but then you don't meet the essential characteristics of ensuring non-temporability, timestamp, and audit trail. I think that is not possible in Excel. If the system in some case, if somewhere the system allows to do you so, I think then you can maintain. But current form of Excel, I don't think it has such features. Okay, so in case of promoter companies, who will be DPs as per the PIT laws?
Promoter company, if it's a company who is a promoter, then the person who is the recipient of the information in that promoter company. So first we are sharing information with someone. So that particular person will be the DP as well.
Okay. If there is any change in the code of conduct, do I need to inform the exchanges? I believe under the fair disclosure, you need to inform, but the code of conduct, you need not to inform.
Correct. Because you need to display the fair code of conduct at their website as well.
Okay. So in case of change of TP, can we update revised list of DPs on NSDL SDD system?
Yeah, in the system driven disclosures, you have to keep them updated about a recent list of your DP. If you're revising it, so definitely you have to update on immediate basis to the depository.
Okay, there is another question. whose company does not have PIT tool, do they need to file SDD certificate?
You have or you have not. You have to file.
Okay. There is a question. If we share the financial results to the directors a day before the meeting, will we have to create an event of sharing the UPSI?
Yes. So event is already be there. What you need to, you have to include that person in that event at that particular time when you are started sharing that information with the director.
Okay. Another question is whether providing access to SAP data by designated person is sharing of UPSI?
Yes. Internal controls, the requirement of the law is, and by virtue of the compliance, for the compliance, true compliance of this law, you need to have your need-based access of the information. So SAP should be restricted manner with everyone.
Okay. So there, one user has posted a question, a message that as per the recent SEBI circular, a company can mark the pen and freeze the trading by DPs during the position of the UPSI, the latest circular which SEBI has issued. Then still we do need to maintain the SDD.
SDD is with respect to the sharing of information, that the trail of sharing of information and the persons involved. That this freeze circular is with respect to stop the trading in the securities. So both things are strengthened. Sharing of information through this tail and freezing the PAN number for the ISIN, trading is to be monitored. So both ways it will get compliant.
The PIT regulations, are these applicable to debt listed entities?
Yes, securities include it.
PIT requires we maintain updated contact information for designated persons who has left. Is this maintained in Insilysis?
Yes, so every DP information is being maintained. Even if he leaves the organization, still the data is there in this tool.
Okay. Timestamp is captured for respective UPSI or each sharing with respective person?
Both. Every entry whichever you are doing, timestamping is there. Pre-log, but the log is being created for everything.
One user asks, can we do backdated entries in Insilysis?
That per se you can't, but definitely you have to, once you have to create a database, so you have to, but the logs and the time which this tool will take is the present date on.
Okay. So it will not be actually backdated entry. You will be entering a data today with the date that it was shared on this particular date, but the date of entry in the system will be of today's date.
Correct.
Okay. Is this mandatory for companies to create an event while sharing draft financials with internal auditors and statutory auditors for quarterly audit?
Yes, draft finance. What is draft financials? Financials are financials.
Okay. While preparation of financial results, the financial data is sent to one back and forth. So every time we have to enter it.
No, you are in our tool. We are facilitating that you can go and select from and to date, and you can store it in one time.
Okay. Is there a facility to on the Insilysis to create master or designated persons by uploading them in Excel?
Through Excel, past data. Yes, we can provide them that facility. They have to come and approach for that. They have to connect with us for that.
Okay. Is this a multi-user tool? Simultaneous persons can log in at same point of time?
Yes, correct. Simultaneously, the people can log in from their respective logins.
Okay. Any penal provisions for not submitting this compliance certificate on time?
This is the you have agreement with the exchanges, and in case if you're not complying with that, exchange as per their agreement, they can take start any action against the companies.
Okay. So does admin get intimation when someone report their trade on the system?
No.
So admin doesn't get any intimation when someone record their trade.
No, because it will be a huge information. Then the system, the admin login, they can go and check in the report section that who
Okay.
all and what all entries are there in the system.
So company has received only mail from NSE, not from BSC.
I
think
don't
it should
think
be you need to submit
you
with
have
both
received
these
both the
stock
exchanges.
exchanges. Auditors, we have so intermediary. So you have mentioned in one of the slide that intermediaries are also required to maintain this SDD. Is this correct?
Yes.
And
SDD is
Insilysis is ready for intermediaries.
correct. Yes, we are ready with the intermediaries as.
Okay, and I think can SEBI ask intermediaries to submit such kind of certificate in future?
Yes, definitely, because they are possessing the information. This within the information in their organization, they are sharing the information. So might be it comes to the next stage.
So can admin make entries of UPSI recording on behalf of DPs?
We have given that provision that yes, the admin can also go and update the information if they have received it from the DP.
So since the system is maintained at the company's local server, how come external stakeholders be able to access the tool?
They can publish it through the IP, public IP, and through that they will have their access to the tool with from their login respect, not the database. The backend database they can't access. They can only access the interface.
Companies where trading is suspended, do they need to comply this?
Suspended, yes, they have to, because it's the information is still there in the company. The trading is suspended, that's fine. But information is there, so you have to.
Okay. Do exchanges have right to ask for such compliance certificate? Because under the regulations, there is no such power for submission of such kind of a certificate.
So because they are monitoring the trading, they are not monitoring trading, it's wrong, that they are the platform where the trading is being there, and they are being governed by the SEBI as well. So they have the power to take steps for the regulation compliance as well. So in that respect, they can issue these kinds of circular.
But I think there must be some SEBI mandate, because in past we have seen like exchanges for the first time introduced the requirement of closing the trading window on the start of the quarter, while there was no provision initially in the regulations. But I believe that was backed by some SEBI mandate, and now post that they amended the regulation to create a specific provision. So I feel that in times to come we will see some amendments in the regulation to give this a statutory mandate to of submitting this certificate. So there is a question that what do you mean by we cannot outsource?
Outsource means there are two ways of outsourcing. The first is that there are initially the companies have started giving this as a SaaS service or as in their cloud. So that means the database is being maintained at the third party. So it's not internal. So I can go and access that database because it's at my server. So they don't want, because it's of UPSI event. So the third party should not be aware of that information. So it is to be the database to be maintained internally. So this is the first outsourcing. And the second one is every company feels ki, okay, this entry, why we will do, can't we outsource this entry to someone else? So that also you can't do. So both kind, database and the access for doing these entries should not be given to the third party.
Okay. With respect to the Benfos feature which you showed during the demo, does the Benfos have to be uploaded by the company?
Yes, that Benfos you need to go and update. Every Friday when you are receiving, you can go and simply you have to upload the file and it gets updated. Nothing to do.
Okay. What is the requirement with respect to entry related to relatives?
As per the law, not only you being the designated person, along with you, your relatives also need to comply with this PIT regulations. So, but all should not be the relatives. So the persons who have to comply the law with you is either they satisfy one of the two conditions. The first is that they are financially dependent on you, or they consult you for taking the trading decision. So if either of the two conditions they are satisfying, you need to update the company about their details as well, like you are giving the details of yourself. So this is the requirement of the law which you need to do.
Okay. So in the system, Muni, at one point of time, we enter the UPSI that was shared. We need to enter in the system the tool before we share it, or it can also be done after we have shared.
Both as possible. If you can share it before, that's very good. But if share, immediately you can go and enter those details in the tool. Important is that you have to enter the details in the event, and priorly you have informed that person that yes, I'm sharing the information with you, and you have taken that information, the basic info of that person, and have entered it in the tool. That is the foremost requirement you need to do.
Any chances of the date getting extended?
Till no, but
Okay.
we don't know about. We have to wait, but till it's 9th only, 9th August.
If a new compliance officer is appointed after the quarter, how he can issue the certificate?
You have a tool, you have the access of all the reports. So why not you can go and check. So it's not that from this day you being the compliance officer and the past one anyone is responsible. That's your how you have to manage. You have to manage that.
Okay. Is edit NDA required with auditors too for sharing them the UPSI?
Yes, they are the yes. NDA is required to be signed with the auditors as well.
If designated. So if there is a question, if a designated employee entered his details and after some time he himself changing his details, whether that will amount to tampering?
No, not tampering. They have changed because their change details can be changed, but the log is there that when they have changed, and it is get stored in our tool in the PDF manner. Whenever they are changing, a new disclosure from their side get generated.
Okay. Can a company submit this certificate that they were not complying this, and from next quarter they will comply? I think first we need to understand why. I understand many companies were not doing this, but this is not a new requirement. It is there since April 19, and as I mentioned in past, regulators have done some exercises to check out the applicability and the implementation. But I am not sure whether they can submit this certificate that they have not complied the same, because that will to some extent amount to violation of PIT
Law.
regulations.
Yes.
So that's it's not a new regulation that or requirement that was introduced last quarter. Okay. I think I have dealt with more than 70 questions. Many of them are repetitive in nature. We have an internal tool, designated person may change the data and information is updated with current date. Is in compliance with respect to audit trail?
If trail log of these edit are being maintained in your that tool, I think that you have to check with respect to that document.
Okay. Suppose you've already entered the name of auditor in SDD, then whether we have to again enter his name while sharing UPSI?
No. One time insider information gets stored. Every time you need not to go and update.
But I think the user want to ask that when once I've added the information in SDD, then whether at the time when I'm sharing that information with the person, do I need to enter the particulars of sharing that information?
Yeah, that the one report which the SEBI has asked, and the exchange NSE has also released that particular format, that recipient information, sender, the type of the nature of the UPSI. So yes, so one time you need to go and update that entry in the system.
Okay. Question already answered. Can you let us know? I think there are a lot of questions on the quotations. I think they can reach out to the sales team. The contact details, Moin, if you can just put that slide.
Yeah.
In most companies, code of conduct post pre-clearance is required. The DP inform of the trade done, not done pursuant to pre-clearance. Does Insilysis enable this? Can it be used to intimate compliance officer about the trade done or not done?
Yes. If yes, so our tool is also capturing the trading details if you want the full version of it. So we have the two versions. In case any company only wants the STD version, the requirement of the law is only for the SDD part. But in case they want to have a full-fledged system, so yes, they can avail this full-fledged system as well for the pre-clearance.
Okay. How can a compliance officer confirm whether all UPSI had been captured in the database? Specifically in case where compliance officer is not aware of such UPSI.
So from our tool perspective, we have also allowed the this role-based assignment. That means because definitely the compliance officer is not aware of every event. So they have to give the access to the HODs, for example, and they can go and create their UPSI project from their side. So we have given that provision that the other party, the other HODs or any person to whom the person can give the right, they can go and update their UPSI.
Okay. Once this certificate is filed with, will this be available on Exchange portal for public viewing?
I don't think that it's a certificate for the public view. It's either in the internal it should be the internal compliance.
That will get cleared after 9th.
After 9th.
It is there. Okay. Is it possible that we have been maintaining the tool, but there was no UPSI in the entire quarter?
There should be one. That is the quarterly financial results. Other than that, might be it's not that necessary that other than results you have any kind of UPSI. Not necessary.
Okay. So, Moini, I believe I have answered most of the questions. Remaining one of them were repetitive in nature, and I think they would have got the answer from the other queries. So thanks a lot for sparing your time and taking this session for the users. And thanks to all the users who have joined in such good numbers. I hope we are able to answer all your queries. The video of this program will also be shared by way of an email with you shortly. So you can also go through it and try to look into any other portion where you want to check out your queries. And thanks a lot again, Moini, and we'll now close this session. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.